Hey guys, welcome to the shop. Now I got a pretty neat little job for us today. We're going to be taking apart an 18N Jacobs Super Chuck, the ball bearing type. I got a really nice one that's been sitting around for probably decades and it needs cleaned up. It feels really crunchy. Now I've never had one apart, but looks like a good day to learn to me. So let's go in the shop and get started. Alright, here's the culprit. It's an 18N Jacobs Super Chuck, the ball bearing version. And this thing sat in this toolbox that I had bought for decades, unused, a lot of corrosion on it externally. This thing was literally covered in rust, and I've cleaned it up. Don't let what it looks like now fool you. This thing was a chunk of rust, but it looks pretty decent now, and it's a usable chuck as is. But I want it to be in better shape. I want to clean it up and possibly replace any parts that it needs. It's it's pretty sticky when you protrude the jaws, retracting the jaws, it's pretty smooth. So I just want to take this thing apart, clean it up, and get it in decent working condition. Let me show you one issue that I've seen with this chuck. Alright, so hopefully you can see the rust pitting and stuff on this arbor and on the body of the chuck. Just on one side. This side's really nice. This was the side that was setting down in the box. And I really want to get this arbor off. I do not have anything that takes a Morse taper number 3. My big lathe is a number 4. So I want to try to get this off. I don't know that I'm going to do it right now, but there's an issue with getting it off. And that is, there is no way that I see to knock this arbor out of here. You see that little hole? I mean, that is 1/8 of an inch, if that, and that's not going to be enough punch to, or not enough room to get a punch in there, and it's not a big enough punch, in my opinion, to drive this out. There is not really a way that I see to use wedges here. It does have a slight recess here. It's not much. So I'm not exactly sure how these are supposed to come off, but I think if I do take it off, what I'm going to do is drill this hole out, tap it, and then use a bolt to turn in and press that out. That's just an idea, but we may not get into that. We'll see. Let's first get this thing apart. Alright, so in the hydraulic press, we've got our chuck, and it would be a lot easier if we had this out, but we're not going to worry about that. And we want to press off this collar. From the best I can tell, that's what you do first. And we've got a piece of pipe that slides and fits just right as far as pushes on the outer ring without hitting the inner ring. And another extension, just an old valve. And we're going to press this off. So I'll get this up here and I'll bring you in a little closer. Okay, so I hope this doesn't take too much to press off. Like I said, never really done one of these. So not bad at all. Broke right loose. All right. Press down. Hopefully, oh wow, yeah, look at how dirty that thing is. Some of that dirt is from the pieces I was using, but pretty bad. Alright, so it's no wonder this thing was all sticky and gummy. I mean, that's like chewing gum consistency. So let's see if we can get this thing apart. Okay, so this is actually a good thing, at least it's not all rusted and corroded on the inside. Just got a lot of goo and goop in it from old grease. And we've got a little slot here for our balls to come out of. And I'm just going to pick them out one at a time. And all this stuff will have to be cleaned And these are split jaw. I did look into this a little bit, and these jaws actually come apart, so they're not broken. They split, and that's how it actuates the jaws. So I'm going to get all these balls out, and I'll bring you back. Okay, got all the balls out. Now I'm just going to separate the split ring, and you wouldn't be able to get it backwards. It has a ball race on the top. So these jaws will have to be evenly spaced when you put it back together. At least that's what I'm assuming, because otherwise your jaws will be out of time. I don't even know if it's possible to get them out of time, but I think you probably could. So now we're just going to push the jaws out, and I want to label these jaws in the socket that they come out of. So we're going to have to do that. Alright, what I've decided to do is just take my little carbide scribe here, and I don't know if you can see it, but I just scribed a 1 here, and I'm going to go around 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to, on the top of the jaw here with my carbide scribe, I'm going to do the same. It's not going to hurt anything, and nobody will ever see it because it's going to be inside the body. But it'll help us get it back together, so that's my method for getting them in the same spot. Okay, we've got all our jaws out and marked on the body and on the jaws, and we're going to pull off our upper race. I think it should slide off here, maybe. It should, yeah, as long as we don't have any burrs on here. And we've got all our parts, our gummed up jaws, our balls, upper race, lower race, and cap. And I'm going to soak all this in solvent, and the body, or the main body also, and then we'll put it back together. Alright, so now that I've got everything clean, I'm going to go one step further and stone all these surfaces. A lot of times people will have hit these with the hammers and stuff, and they'll raise burrs at the where the jaws come out. And I just happen to have a perfect stone that fits these holes, but you can use any round stone really, or any stone, just to knock any burrs you find off. And this will assure that the chuck works smoothly and you don't have jaws hanging up. So we're just going to go over every surface even in here, because I've noticed that there's a lot of burrs, and these are factory burrs. This is not stuff that was caused from damage or anything. It's just lack of deburring at the factory in this particular chuck. So I'm just going to deburr these jawways just to make sure that not really trying to remove any material, just any burrs. And then once we're done deburring all this, I'll just spray it off with a carburetor cleaner or something, oil it. I'm going to use this grease to put it back together, and we'll do it in the reverse method that we took it apart, and should be good to go. I mean, no wonder this thing didn't work well. Doesn't take long, just a minute. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right, or at least to the best of your ability. There we go. We'll spray it off and put it back together. Alright, so now I've got everything clean, and I sprayed it with a little T9 Bow Shield. This will just prevent any rust on these parts, because I'm not going to coat it with grease like it was before. And I'm just going to, where I made my little marks, jaws 1, 2, and 3, just going to slide them in. I'm just going to line them up with the top here. I think that's a decent idea. That way we get them all in the same position, just like jaws on a lathe chuck. They got to be in time. because they are different. Put our top race on. Come in with our bottom race. And now we're just going to use a wheel bearing grease, nothing special, and just going to put a little on here. No reason to cake these things. You know, this is not going to be some high-speed unit. Use a little scribe to push them around. Grease everywhere. Right, there's that. We're going to put a little grease on the inside here. I think that's adequate. And now let's go over to the press and put it back together. Alright, now all we like is pressing that the collar back on. Should be pretty easy. It'll come off easy anyway. That's it. And let's go over the bench and look at it. Well, there it is. I mean, it just feels so much better. And didn't require many tools at all. You do have to have a press, but you know, and make up some pipes to, or rings to press this sleeve off, but not bad, man. That feels so much better. It was like chewing gum was in it. So there we go. Not too bad. Well, I mean, that really wasn't near as bad as I thought. I was a little, hesitant to take it apart. I'd never had one apart before. But if I can do it, you can do it. You know, it's not, there's nothing to it. Make sure to label your jaws. That way you don't have to fuss with getting them in time. And just take your time. Take it apart one way and then put it back the exact opposite. So easy to do, and now it feels like a new chuck. I mean, it actually feels like a brand new chuck. So happy about that. Now we can add this to the toolbox and actually get to use it. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the bell. If you haven't, make sure to subscribe to the channel also by hitting my little guy up here. Don't hit him, just click on him. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.